What's up, y'all? What's up? Good morning. It's your boy Romance coming through to another world according to Romance. Today we're going to talk about the Byzantines. Who are the Byzantines? What are the Byzantines, and why am I telling you about them? You're going to find out. All right. Now, basically, what Byzantines were, you've probably heard them before. They are the eastern portion of the Roman Empire. When the Roman Empire got so large, and this is the ancient world, there's no cars, no telephones, no cell phones, no satellites. It was hard to get from point A to point B. Traveling from just 200 miles was a lot bigger of it. It wasn't just a day's journey in a car, it was a fucking week's journey on foot. It was hard to maintain such a big empire. This is an empire that stretched from Morocco to Russia. This is an empire that stretched from Scotland to Arabia. It was big, and it was 2,000 years ago. So it ended up splitting into two. And the eastern, the western half of the Roman Empire, of course, was governed from Rome. The eastern half of the Roman Empire was governed from a city called Byzantium. There was a city that an old Greek king named Byzan started. And that became a city in ancient Greece, and the Romans just took it over, and it was already burgeoning by the time they got there, and it was blossoming. And when when the Roman Empire split, which was around 212 AD, that city was popping enough where it was the capital of the eastern portion empire, and it lies at the gateway to the Black Sea. If you're going from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea, you have to pass through Byzantium, or as it will later be known, Constantinople or Istanbul. In 320 AD, so that now after 212 AD, there's two emperors of both empires. There's not just one ruler. The ruler of the eastern portion of the empire in around early 300s BC or AD, early 300s AD, was a man named Constantine. And legend has it that he was in a battle in a Nicaea area of Turkey, and he was getting his ass kicked, and he looked up in the sky and he saw a cross, and he looked at the sun, and somehow the sun formed a cross. And from that point on, he believed in Christ, and he officially made the Roman Empire Christian. From that point on, the entire Roman Empire was official religion, was no longer Zeus and Hercules and Apollo and all that. It was now official. The paganism was gone and officially became Christian. Why that's important is because now Christianity had two capital cities, because everybody knows Jesus' boy Peter, and Peter was Jesus' rock. After Jesus died, Peter headed west to Rome. He died there, and on the site where he died, they built a church, and that church is where the Vatican is today, and the capital of Catholicism. Yes, Catholicism. The western half of the empire, their version of Christianity went on to be called Catholicism, where the eastern half of the empire, their capital of their Rome, their Vatican, was in Constantinople, and their version of Christianity is called Eastern Orthodox, and both of those still exist to this day. And if you wonder why Roman Catholicism happens in Latin and Greek Orthodox happens in Greek, the eastern half of the official language of the eastern half of the Roman Empire was Greek. Everybody thought they were Greek. Everybody spoke Greek, but they called themselves Romans because they were part of the Roman Empire. The western half spoke Latin. The western half of the Roman Empire continued to speak Latin, and other languages like French, English, Spanish formed, Italian later on. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So in 323 BC, the Roman Empire becomes Christian. Constantine dies in 330 AD. Also, if you ever wonder why Russians, basically, here's what happens. Rome falls in 410 AD. The Goths sack it, okay? And the church still goes on, but Rome, as a as the western half falls. It no longer ceases to be an empire. But the eastern half never fell. They kept going on. 400 AD, 500, throughout the Middle Ages, it was they who were the Constantinople was the #1 city on earth. In 1000 AD, the #1 city on earth, Constantinople. And because of that, and because they spoke Greek, they used the Greek alphabet. Well, Constantinople held on through the Middle Ages. A lot of the reason we have all of the knowledge of antiquity of the old world is because it was preserved. You know, the old Roman Empire, the old Greeks, all that was preserved in libraries in Byzantium, Constantinople. Well, Constantinople held out, okay? Its walls were impenetrable, brought us science, brought us history. A lot of the Renaissance, the whole idea of the Renaissance later on in Europe was the rediscovering of things from Byzantium, all these books, all the scholarly knowledge that they had there. They held out, but there was a group of people. Now, what we call Turkey today was where basically Constantinople is. At least part of the city is in Turkey. We used to call it Anatolia. It wasn't. We didn't call it Turks until the Turks invaded from like 1250 through the 1500s, right? 1453 AD, the Turks got the new invention of gunpowder. They had cannons, and after hundreds of years of trying to break the walls of Constantinople and not succeeding with gunpowder in 1453, they did, and the eastern portion of the Roman Empire finally fell. The church itself moved to Moscow, and to this day, the capital of the Eastern Orthodox Church is in Moscow. Russia ended up as a country blossoming around that church and becoming its own country in its own right. And they used the Cyrillic they used their own alphabet, the Cyrillic alphabet, which came from that's the alphabet that was used in Constantinople. So, and after the Muslims took it, if you take the word Constantinople and kind of put an Arabic twist on it, it's Istanbul. Istanbul is just the Arabic version of the word Constantinople. So, a lot of what you know from the ancient world is preserved to us from the Byzantines. If you don't know who the Byzantines are, you know, that I just told you, again, they thought of themselves as Romans. The Roman Empire really never did fall until 1453. But it was the eastern half, the Byzantines, who kept it going. Long, a little bit boring today. I apologize. Peace. Have a good day, everybody.